Looks like we might be streaming. And let's see, let me go to the YouTube side right quick. Well, I'll just stay right. This will be fun. Yeah, I can check the comments here. This is a project for Barret. I have an hour here to work on this for him, so I thought I'd try to knock some of this out. And he has bought this house, it's a starter home for he and Courtney. Really proud of Barret. And he's got his own business now. Obviously, he still helps me part-time with artists and construction, but his main work is his business, Insane Rhythm Music Lessons. Anyway, he and Courtney have bought this house, and I took a picture of it here when we were out there the other day. He wants to build a deck that replaces these two, that connects both of these entrance doors. So I'm going to help him. We're going to lay it out. We're going to design it, and then I'll lay out the footings for him. He'll dig the footings and pour them, and then once we're to that point, the whole crew will come out and help him build it. So I just took about a little time here to get the house part of it. This is not all of it. I just put enough to show the back and the two doors, and just enough to give us an idea of how we want to lay this thing out. But what I like to do is, and I don't know, maybe I should have done a little bit of this work before I started going live. But anyway, I do these videos, like I'm doing this one for Barret, and it's easier to just do them live because then I don't have to edit them. YouTube will just convert it. Let's see, 16 feet. Let's just make one. Yeah, let's make one 16 feet by 1.5. What I'm going to do, and sometimes I should have done this, but first, just to get things started, but I'll make myself a 2 by 10, 9.25. And this was just, this one is just a, let's see, I could color this thing just to show, make a group. I'm going to make a group of it, out of it, and let's just give it a color here, just so it looks like a treated jewel, so it looks like something different from the house. And what I'll do is copy this and turn it 90 degrees. I forgot, I'm using SketchUp. I just got my new version, 2019, and I'm on the subscription plan for SketchUp Pro, so I just get the new updates when they come out. And the 19 just came out, and I had installed all my extensions, which are very cool, and I had to update those. But anyway, let's see. One of the things I'm going to do is try to split the difference between cost and making this thing really that long, because I think I figured it up, it was over 26 feet or so to go all the way from this edge over here all the way to here. So what I'm going to do is look and see what a 24-foot deck would do, and in order to do that, I would take one of these and copy it and make it 8 feet, because 16 and 8, as we learned in school, is correct. So that means I need to push this back 8 feet. And we'll check it just for the fun of it. We'll get our measuring tool, go from there to here, 24 feet. Now I do want to, if it ends up being 24 feet, it'll probably work okay. The way I'm going to suggest that we Well, we actually need to take a couple of inches off just for the fun of it. Here, I'll tell you later why. It has to do with the deck boards that you buy that sometimes have crappy ends on them. Sometimes they're split, and it's best to lay this out so that you can cut off the crappy ends of the boards if they're split. I also need to move this one back 4 feet because it needs to be a 12-footer. 48, like that. And then all I have to do is, let's see, to get your joist, or to get your point, to get your 16-inch centers, you take your length, 24 feet times 0.75. 0.75 is 16 inches. Or we'll give you that 43. What? That doesn't make sense. 24 feet times 0.75, 18. 45 joists. Must have committed user error. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to copy it 16. Oops. 16 times 18. There we go. Just that easy. And I'll have to move this in one back because it's sticking out here. Let's make it flush with the end. And then we'll take our band. Now, I don't think we need to double. The way I'm going to propose to Barret that we do this, did we get our, we got our ends. We'll need to fix that. That should be, so you see sometimes you need to check things, so what we need to do is take these, and we'll have to we'll remember this in our layout, and we'll move it back to 3/4. I should have made it so the first one should be from the outside 15 1/4. Yeah, see, that actually makes it 16 inches on center, right? And that'll also make your band work out so that you can, nail or screw. We use screws. I don't like to use nails anymore. We like for this situation, we would pre-drill holes and use screws to screw them into that. So that's your basic frame there. Let's make a group of this. Let's see if I've got any questions. Barrett's Music Education, woohoo! Barret, call me if the video fails. I've been having trouble sometimes with my video stalling, so like the video will freeze and I'll just keep going, and I won't know it on my end, but the cursor will be moving around, and I'll just be going to town, not even knowing that I got a bug or something. But that's why I like to check it every now and then. So let me see if I can get this to where I can make a group, and we'll get it off the ground. We're going to make a group of all that, so now I can just grab it and move it. So what I'm going to suggest, Barret, is that we just make this thing 24 feet, and it would go right up under there, but we drop it down an inch for the decking. Now I'll talk about this a little bit later. We'll actually cut out the siding and put flashing on the wall, and then we'll have an L flashing that comes out. I'll show that in a minute. But this is the most affordable way to do this deck. But you can see in the picture how there's a set of stairs over here, And there's a pad. It looks like a pad. I don't remember, Barrett, if that was actually a concrete pad or not. Do you remember? I'll check your answer. I think that's a concrete pad there. I know there's one over here which we want to reuse. So, and you'd want these steps anyway because the parking is over here. So we'll want to, we'll want to rebuild or build a set of steps here, obviously. And it would be handy, since you like this part of the yard over here and you might have a fire pit, to go ahead and have these steps coming down here. But what I realized was that that's like 26 feet or something. Let's see. We had 12, 9'9". That's 20, 21, 9, 24. Yeah. See, it's like 25. It's one of those things. Let's say it turns out to be 25 feet. Well, you would have to go to the next. That means instead of this one, let me see if I can explain this easy enough. And I'm sure people understand this. This one right here was 8 feet long. Well, now that one would have to become a 10-footer. And it's not just that one. You say, oh, that's no big deal. All of your deck boards would have to get longer too. And since they don't sell 10-footers, you got to buy a 12-footer. So now, you say to yourself, well, would the deck be 30 feet long? Or let's see, that would be 12 and 16. That's 28 feet. 28 feet by 12, 12 feet's a big deck. So you got to decide, maybe what we do is we go ahead and put a set of steps here, but we just extend this pad back. We just take and pour a little extension on that pad. I'm kind of funny. I'm always trying to twist the photograph around, trying to see it. Hey, I can't see over there. But that may be the most economical thing to do there. So we'll just proceed this way. We'll figure out the cost of this 24 feet. 12 by 24 is a pretty big, deck. So the other thing I thought about, Barrett, is your property line is pretty close back here. And I think on uncovered decks you can extend over the setback, whatever you want, but we would have to check to make sure that your field lines don't run back under here. If you were going to make, what I'm saying is if you wanted to make the deck wider, we'd probably have to do some investigating. But let me make a deck board here. I'm going to show you something else. I'll make this. I'm going to come out here. 16 feet. That's 16, and then 16 feet by 5.5. And I'll raise that up an inch because the deck boards are an inch thick. And make a group out of that. Let me get to where I can just see that board, so I don't select anything else. Make a group out of that. Now I can select that whole thing. Let's make it let's make the same thing, but we'll give it a little bit different. Excuse me. Excuse me, get the frog in the throat. Let's make this texture unique. Let's see, where can I do that? Make unique texture. Yeah. Okay, create texture. What I want to do is make this one a little bit lighter, just to kind of indicate that we have a different piece here. Oop, wrong one. I didn't mean to change. let's see, let's go back here. I thought if I made that texture unique, I guess I gotta go select it. Well, shoot. There we go. Yeah, now see, that kind of makes the deck board look, well, a little different. Thought it would. Here I am playing around with this. I need to be just getting her done, don't I? That's good enough. Leave it right there. What I was going to show you is the pattern that I like to use, and also why I left the deck 2 inches short. But let me just show you this. What we'll do first is we'll move this. I'm going to actually, what you want to do is start out here on the edge. I know what you're thinking. Quit zooming in and out. People fuss at me all the time for zooming in and out. I can't help it. It's just a habit. I'm going to move this out an inch. Well, let's see. No, I'm not, because I'm going to propose to Barret that we use a handrail system that is easy to do. But I am going to start the boards this way, and I'll tell you about my special method I like on how I do the joints. So what I like to do on the joints on the flooring is I like to take, the way I like to start my pattern is I like to go up one. So what we're going to have is we'll move this board over, let's see, 5 3/4. Well, no, 5 5/8. 5 5/8. So leave a little 1/8 inch gap there. But then I like to move it 2 joists down. Let's see. Why is it not? Let's see. Why is it not? All right. Well, we're going to start here. Let me see just for a second what that does. There we go. So if you're starting on a joist, which way am I going? That way. Yeah, what you want to do is you always want to go 2 joists in whichever direction you're going. So I want to go now, I want to go here. And then I want to go, I'm trying to grab that little intersection to make this easy. Now I want to go there. And this is just a way to do it. Am I maintaining my crack? My crack. No, dang it. How did I lose my crack? Alright, hold on a second. I'm going to grab this one, this one, this one. Move it over 1/8. You want to make sure you keep these gapped 1/8. There we go. But you can see, and you'll see this in a minute, excuse me, and you will get, let's see, so what we want to do, what might be easier is just, yeah, I know what'll be easier. It's just to select this corner of this board as my reference. So I can just do that, yeah. And this will be our shortest board right here. So then what you'll do is you'll take, what we can do is copy this one, go there, go there, go there. I know that some people are thinking, well, that's anal. Well, the reason this is not anal is because you can figure out exactly how many boards you need by doing this. And what it does is it starts this, you'll see in a minute, there is a neat V pattern that starts out. Now what I like to do is get three rows. I like to also have 2 rows in between where they line up here. I don't like having one here now, but it's just going to be on this one. So what I'm talking about there is that then this one would come over and what we would do basically is just start these. Let's fix this row right here. Let's do this. Let's grab this one. Like that. And then once I can get this one and that one. Like that. And obviously you can just copy these. Well, you can copy them until they don't work anymore, but you can do this like that and then move it down to where it lines up with that one like that, and then you can, let's see, which one would it be? It would be like that. You see what happens is you start to get this cool V pattern in the floor like that. Am I maintaining my crack? Something tells me that my crack ain't working. It's not right. This is, and I got people texting me. That's why I'm kind of thrown off here a little bit. 1/4 inch. Yeah, this needs to go back 1/8 of an inch. So like that. But there's that black screen I get. Let's go check. All Courtney just said is she wants it big enough for a table, 6 chairs, grill, hot tub. The hot tub, we'll have to talk about the hot tub, see, because Um, well, let's you see what I'm let's see, you see where I'm going with this decking. I'll finish it later, but because it's just mindless. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll finish it. But you see, what you're trying to do is establish a pattern of your grid pattern. I mean your joint pattern, and this will make it look really nice because you'll see what some people do is you'll see this all the way across the deck. You would see them just zigzag it, you know, maybe like this, but I've literally seen them line up the joint all the way across on one joist before, which is ultra redneck. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, if you want a nice deck, lay it out like this with your joists, okay, and your flooring, lay it out beforehand and just plan it. Nothing wrong with a little planning. I know it hurts your pride sometimes, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this flooring in a group, and then I'm going to put it in a layer. Well, I said I was going to. Let's get to the end of it. Make a group out of it, and then I'm going to make a layer called flooring, or it should be called decking, really. Porch flooring. Then I'm going to put this, go to my entity info and put that in decking, and then I'm going to turn that off for a minute, because really what I want to show Barret is this structure. Can't just copy and paste the section. Well, okay, Mr. SketchUp, I know I can copy and paste it, but you can't. If you once I establish one long V, you know what I mean. Once I get this V pattern to where I want it, then yes, I can copy it. But it's going to be there's going to be a couple more rows. I'll show you it. I want to move this down here to where this lines up with that one. See, you're just messing with me. I don't know why I can't keep my crack right. You would think, I mean, crack ain't that hard. And the reason it matters is because in real life you're going to have to put that crack between them. And if you do this, if you lay this out right so that you have the gap, your crack, then when you get to the house you'll know whether you're going to have a whole board or not. So what I'm trying to do is get back to this line. I think I just got one more row, and then I can copy it. And you would think this would be easy. I think it's because I don't have my view set up here where I'm looking straight down. Now somebody's trying to call me. And then this one is this one gets moved down to line up with this one. So see, I'm kind of back to square one now. So now what I can do is copy this row, copy all these. Do I have all of them? It said I didn't want to mess up my pattern. Let's see, is that my pattern? Yeah, that's it. But I might not have a crack here. Do I have a crack? Yep, got my crack. See, now I can copy it, or now I could have copied it. See, but you see this nice pattern you got going here, and you really don't notice this if you do this right. If you plan this out, you won't even notice the joints in your deck. It'll just look like one big plane. But if you line these joints up all on one joist, you're not only a redneck, you're lazy, okay? You're mind lazy. So now I can take and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can guess that I can do. Am I on that row? Yeah, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do 4. Yeah, that's right. I was trying to look over there and see if that was. Yeah, I didn't think I had my crack. So I say 8th, yeah. Yeah, one more row. Looks like a cut piece. But see, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that you will have, which direction are we going? We're going that way, aren't we? You'll have this little rip piece. Now, here's the thing. Okay, so when you get to the house, see how close you are? Now, if you were a smart boy, since you are a smart boy and you laid this out, you can say to yourself, why don't I just cut an inch off my joist and I'll have all these boards. I don't have to rip one against the house. See? All you'd have to do is cut an inch. But you see, you're already over 12 feet because our joist, you're 12'3" right now. See, you go from here to here, you're 12'3" because we added 1.5 inches on each end. So taking an inch off is not a big deal. Either that, or you could just buy a whole another row of boards and rip them. Now what I'll do is I'm obviously going to trim all these off, but I'm going to do that later. But see, if you're looking at this, see this nice pattern, this V pattern, that's what you want. That's a professional pattern. Okay, so then in real life we would be cutting these off even as we go. I just have to go, what I do next is I'll take a rectangle and I'll do some fancy SketchUp work and I'll cut all these off at the same time. But for now, what I'm going to do is turn this off, and we're going to go back to our, am I still, yeah, I got to watch this video because after I had that black screen, sometimes it'll stop, it'll freeze on me. So Barret, this is what I was talking about earlier, is you can take let's just make ourselves a beam here. We will, I'll move it down 2 inches, and then I'm going to move these up, or I'm going to make this a 2 by 12. And oops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do that surface. And what I want to do is turn it around. Well, in real life, I won't have these. Let's pull it out here away. Let's build the beam out here away from the house for a second. I want to flip this around so it won't, so that won't line up. 180 degrees, there we go. And then actually, yeah, and then what I can do is double that. But then I'll flip that one back around because you don't want the joints to line up on this one. There you go. You don't want that joint to line up with that joint. So you've basically just built yourself a deck beam there. And what I'll do is I'm going to take that out of this, cut out of that group, and make it its own group so I can move it around. So then what we would do, this is what I like to do. I like to put these here and move them back 2 feet. Like that. And that gives it kind of a cool look and like cantilever look. And then you can just have one row of posts down through there. And actually, depending on how close together, let's see, you can probably get by with, if we were to triple this, which wouldn't cost that much more, let's see. We could get by with, I think, 8 feet. But I'll have to check that. I should have moved it the other way, or copied it the other way, but this will work. We'll just move the whole thing back, 1.5 inches. Then, so there's your beam, okay? And then the reason I like to triple that is because then I like to have these, the posts be, let's see. Six by 6 is 5.5. Can I make it? Yeah. Make that a group, and we'll just make these the same color as our joist, like that. Eight feet might be stretching. Well, not with a excuse me. Not with a triple beam. If you were trying to do it, but you want this joint to line up here. You want this to be. You want this to be like this, like that, and then you want your other beam, your other one. Where other one go? Oh, I know what to do. I can line it up with this. I can line it up with that joint because that's 8 feet. Get that started, and then line up with that. There we go, like that. See? And that's just a cool look. I mean, I like it because it does a lot of things. You don't have to use joist hangers on these, on the ends of these, because they're bearing on this beam. You would only have to use joist hangers on this end. and it kind of puts a little bit of a counterbalance. It keeps the deck from being so bouncy. If you got your post out here on the end, then you kind of get a little bit of a trampoline effect. But because you've got this cantilever, it kind of has, there's a little bit of a tension it puts on the top of these joists. Not a lot. I mean, well, after you put the handrail on this out here, it gets a little heavier, and it just helps it keep from being so bouncy. Plus, if you do have septic lines out here somewhere, you know, it helps you keep these back closer to the house, like that. Let's see, and it would only be, let's see, is that right? 8, 16, 24, yeah. You would only have 4 footings this way. But I had had my customer call me there just a few seconds ago. But what we'll do is I'll continue this in another video. I'll clean this flooring up. So the next time I show this, this will all be cleaned up, and then we'll talk about the steps and the handrails, and lay out these footings. I'll show you how those are done. I appreciate you guys watching.